Back when I was 19 years old, I was almost killed in a drunk driving accident. Man, back in the day, I always had nervousness and anxiety, you know, for some strange reason. I was always nervous, I was always anxious, and I always felt like I was missing out on something. So I can remember this night very vividly. I actually had orientation for a new job at UPS the next day. And I was just restless. I was nervous, sitting around, looking around on the internet, like my MySpace and stuff, to see if anybody had written me, and nobody had. See if anything was going on, and nothing was going on. So I was getting real nervous and real anxious. So I hopped in my car and I went to go look for some of my friends. And I couldn't find them at the time. I don't know where they were or what they were doing, but one of my friend's brothers, his brother was at the house, and he was lit, shit-faced wasted. And I was like, yo, I'm not gonna say his name, but I was like, hey, is my buddy here? No, he's not here right now. Everybody's gone. And I was like, well, shit, what are you up to? He goes, nothing, just sitting around drinking. You want to take some shots of Jaeger with me? I was like, hell yeah. So he goes to the freezer and busts out this fresh, cold bottle of Jaeger. Trying to remember how big it was. I think it was a fifth. It was a full fifth. And he just handed it to me. And we're sitting there talking. I'm just taking shots. Before I know it, this bottle is gone. This bottle is gone. And by that time, all of our friends had made it back. And I'm getting a pretty good buzz. And we all decided to go to the liquor store to get more alcohol. So we all went to the liquor store to get alcohol. And on the way back, this dude's car was overheating. And I said, dude, your car is overheating. He goes, oh, that's normal. It does that all the time. I was like, that is not normal, dude. That is not normal. It's all the way up there on hot. You're going to blow a head gasket or something, you know? So we get back, and I ran in and I said, okay, let me take care of this for you. So I got a gallon jug, and I just filled his radiator up with water. So I said, all right, here, let me show you. Let me show you. So we took it for a little cruise around, and it didn't overheat. The temperature went up just a little bit above cool. And I said, see, dude? Now this is where things start getting a little fuzzy. This is where things start getting a little fuzzy, because I could have swore we pulled back up into the driveway, got out, and kept drinking. But I don't really remember. I don't really remember. Everything starts getting fuzzy right around this time. The next thing I know, I'm being awakened to looking straight up at the sky. I felt this lifting motion, lifting me up towards the sky. And I'm just looking straight up at the sky. I'm like, huh? That's weird. And then I'm being slid into the back of an ambulance. I'm just looking around like, whoa, this is bizarre. Where am I at? Whoa. And then I'm surrounded by these paramedics and whatnot who are wiping me with rags. And they're asking me these questions. Sir, do you know what your name is? Do you know what day of the week it is? Do you know who the president of the United States is? You know, all these questions. And finally I said, what the fuck is going on? Why are you asking me these questions? They said, because you were just in a really bad accident. We're trying to make sure that, you know, you don't have any brain damage or something like that. And I look down, and I'm surrounded with these blood-soaked towels everywhere. I'm covered in blood and mud. And I'm like, what in the hell happened, man? And I still don't have a clue what happened. We went back and we could see on this road, it was headed down a hill. You know, it was going down a hill. I went back and we could see where the back tire caught the edge of the road, and then the car overcorrected, went across the road into the ditch and ramped. And it went up in the air and took out the limbs out of the top of a tree and flipped down a hill. And still to this day, it snapped my collarbone. And here's the funny thing about it, though. I have no idea what happened that night, but I had a gash across my shoulder right here that the police said was a seatbelt wound that would put me in the passenger seat. I could sit in a car and put my seatbelt on, and the seatbelt lined up with that gash in any car. Big old cut all the way across my shoulder here. And it snapped this collarbone in half. And I still have issues with this arm to this day. I still have issues. This skin up here is still all numb, you know, because it severed the nerves. My arm was paralyzed for like 3 months. It severed the nerves. And when the bone healed back together, it healed back together overlapped with nerves tangled in the bone. And there's still severed nerves. So there's still parts of my arm up here that I can't really feel. And this arm still isn't 100% functional. And it gives me trouble when I'm working out at the gym still. Like when I'm bench pressing. I won't even be able to max out all my reps before this arm starts getting weak and twisting and acting funny on me, you know? That night, I lost every friend that I ever had. Because they said that I'm the one who wrecked that car. The police said they investigated it, and the other dude is the one that wrecked the car. I don't know. I don't remember. I have no memory. This was in 2007. I was 19 years old. That was one of the things that got me to lose my passion in racing and speed. It was when I was almost killed in this drunk driving accident where it was in a Nissan 300ZX that flipped down this hill. And I ended up seeing pictures of the car afterwards. And if you saw pictures of this car, you would not think that anybody made it out of it. But me and the dude both made it out. We were ejected from the vehicle, apparently, according to the police report. The vehicle, when the police arrived, it said in the report that it was laying on its top. And me and the other dude were both outside of the vehicle. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't remember anything. I woke up in the ambulance. Well, I regained consciousness in the ambulance. I don't know. And, but I lost every friend that I had that night. None of the friends that I had all throughout junior high, all throughout high school, spoke to me ever again because they said that I took that car out and wrecked it. I don't know, but I just got this new car, this new Camaro, and it's got me thinking a lot about that night. Okay, because that car was kind of a fast car, a Nissan 300ZX. You know, not nearly as fast as the car that I have now, but it was still a pretty fast car. And that was the last time that I was ever behind the wheel of a car that was somewhat fast, you know? And I keep thinking to myself, man, if I had this Camaro back in the day, it would have killed me. And then I keep thinking about that night that I was almost killed in that 300ZX. And I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. And something deep down in my soul has been telling me all along that it really was my fault. The dude caught the blame, you know? Like on paper, the police investigation and all that stuff, it was written down on paper that it was the other dude driving. I don't remember, but something, and even though all the evidence, they said that all the evidence they had from investigating the crash lined up to me not being the one driving. Something deep down in my soul tells me it was me. Because the last thing I remember doing was driving that car. I just don't have a clear memory of exactly what happened after I drove it. I don't, everything got real fuzzy and hazy after that. I don't know, you know, so I wrote the dude the other night. I've been making it a real strong point to, for the past, 5-6 years, to to do a lot of healing to anything that I think that I can. Anytime something traumatic from my past pops up, I do the best that I can to heal it, you know? And I wrote the dude on Facebook. I said, yo, you know, I know we haven't had anything nice to say to each other in years. However, I feel deep down in my soul like what happened that night was my fault. I don't remember. I have no memory. I don't know exactly what happened, but something deep down in my soul tells me that it was me that caused that accident. And for that, I am truly sorry, you know. And I sent the message. And I didn't realize until after I sent the message, I didn't even connect the dots, that I sent him that message and apologized on the day. March 7th was the day the wreck happened. March 7th, 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 15 years later, 15 years to the day, I wrote him and apologized. And I didn't even realize that that's what day it was when I was writing him and apologizing, you know. And I just thought that was kind of interesting because that's something that has been plaguing me and for the past 15 years that has haunted me. This arm of mine has been a nuisance with everything that I do. It's made every job harder to work. It's made every physical activity much more difficult. I have, over the past 15 years, I have started doing a lot of extra things with my left arm because I have full function of this arm, and I probably have about, I don't know, maybe 80% function of this arm. Now that I've been into fitness and we've really been working on it, probably 90%, but it's still not at 100%, you know? And yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody, you know, always do what you can to close up any loose ends from the past. Now, the funny thing is, looking back on that, it happened perfectly. I couldn't have asked for something different to happen because everything that caused, you know, all the events that were shaped after that night flowed so perfectly. My job at UPS that I was supposed to be getting orientated for got put on hold. I was supposed to be working in the factory, you know, unloading like the semi trucks, I think. And they put me on hold for 3 months, you know, a doctor's note. And then, interestingly enough, the day, 3 months later, that the doctors released me and said, you're good to go back to work, UPS called me just to check on me and said, hey, just wanted to check and see if you're still going to be interested in a position here. And I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I just got released back to work. And they said, okay, well, your position has been filled. However, we got a different position available. I said, okay. They said, it's a position on the air ramp where you'll be actually working in the airplanes instead of the building in the factory with the trucks. I was like, hell yeah, that sounds awesome. So my job at UPS, I kept for several years, 3 or 4 years, something like that. And that was a big to-do because I wouldn't have gotten that job if that wreck hadn't happened. Everything that flowed after that set the change. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't go back and change it. I wouldn't go back and change anything from that night, even though it was very traumatic. You know, that had to have been very traumatic and scary for my grandpa, that poor old man. I put him through hell, you know, being called at fucking 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the hospital. I almost got killed in a wreck, you know. But just always remember to tie up any loose ends from the past. It really helps the healing process, and it really helps the journey. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good day.